Hello everybody, thank you for tuning in to another episode of ForNotAnalog.com. Today I'm looking at the BlackBerry Q10. Now if you've seen my review of the Z10, you've already got a good idea of what BlackBerry 10 is like, its features, how it all works, navigating and so on. So this Q10 review is going to be more about which one you should really be choosing, what's the differences between them, and why I maybe like this one or not like this one the most. So here we go. Now, the Q10 is the one which I expect most BlackBerry enthusiasts are going to be going for. I think the Z10 is the device that people who are used to, say, the iPhone or Android devices are going to want to switch to when they want more of a corporate or BlackBerry feel to things. But the Q10 is for the purists, the one who grew up with the keyboard, grew up with the bold, the curves, the pearls even. And people who are hearing those words know what I'm talking about. Now what I mean by all of this is the physical keyboard. Some people just can't get away from it, and BlackBerry, of course, when they were making the BlackBerry 10 phones, they just had to do one with a physical keyboard, and they have, and they've done a very good job of it. Now, by doing so, they've made the screen smaller. When you compare it to the Z10, you've got so much touchscreen real estate here, and a little bit less here. Now, the resolution of this screen is 720 by 720, so it's a perfect square. The horizontal or width of this screen is 720 pixels as well, so it's obviously just going to be a little bit smaller. Now, it doesn't mean that resolution is lost. The picture is fantastic on this 3.1 inch screen, but when you have a smaller screen, it becomes limiting in terms of gaming and video watching and things like that. Straight up, if that's your highest priorities, you'll be looking better at the Z10. It's a much better device for that, because you have the keyboard which takes up so much space. Now, also having this smaller screen allows for quicker navigation. I noticed that when I was navigating through the hub or getting through menus, you know, the smaller gestures just with little thumb movements was a lot better. With the Z10, you're looking at working with the whole screen, so if you want to swipe from the top or from the bottom, you're actually doing a lot more work. Whereas with the Q10, it was all thumb-based, which was great. And it also allows you to just keep typing and navigating at the same time without doing too much work. But in saying that, because you've got smaller gestures, the idea of swiping up from the bottom was sometimes mistaken when you're actually just scrolling through a menu. So you could be scrolling down a website, and the screen being that so small, it interprets as minimizing the app, which is when you swipe up from the bottom. So that was one thing which was a little bit annoying on the smaller screen. Now the touch screen also means that it's a little bit, this is sort of referring not to the Z10 but referring to the Bold 9900 for example, is that you don't have the touchpad to get those intricate spots where you're perhaps trying to find a spot in the middle of a word where you want to focus the cursor in a certain particular area. When you're working with a touchscreen, it's just that little bit harder. So if you are coming from a 9900, just bear that in mind, is that when you're working on a touchscreen, it's not sometimes as simple as getting right where you want to because you're using a finger, not a cursor. So that's something to keep in mind without having the touchpad from the days of old. Now, the keyboard itself, the one thing that everyone needs to know about, it's a straight keyboard, not slightly curved at all like the 9900 is as well. But they're all angled as well, so it's with the right spacing and things like that for your thumbs. It feels good to type. Now, the other thing as well with having the keyboard is that you don't have the predictive letters or words showing up where each key is like you do on the Z10 virtual keyboard. That's one of the things that you miss. However, using the predictive words which show up on the top line is still very good, and typing is very quick. I think I'm actually quicker typing on the Q10 than I was on the Z10 with the virtual keyboard, but it's marginal. If you're looking at changing because you think you're faster on a physical keyboard, you've got to test yourself out in the Z10 first because you might be really surprised with that. So that's one thing to keep in mind. Secondly, the camera. The camera on both devices aren't particularly amazing. They're not as good as, say, your Galaxies or your iPhones, but they've improved it a lot. With the 10.1 update, even on the Z10, has made a huge difference to photos. It does take decent shots, but just not as good as the bigger smartphones that are out there at the moment. You're not buying this to replace your camera. That's obvious. Now, other thing about the camera as well is when I'm holding this upright, generally on a smartphone you hold the phone upright and you're taking a picture or video, you're doing portrait style video, so the one with the column. Now the Q10 doesn't allow that. It's actually doing landscape video when you're holding it in what's portrait mode normally. That's actually a good thing. I hate portrait video. When you see people upload videos to YouTube in portrait mode and you've just got these big black bars on the side, it looks horrible. I'm actually glad. It shoots really decent video actually. Even on the front facing camera, you see that my blog series through all of BlackBerry Live in Orlando was all done on the front-facing camera of this device. Really impressive. The specs between this and the Z10 is much the same. There's nothing really to separate them apart. It's really when it comes to the screen and keyboard, by the way. Now, I mentioned typing before. One thing which the Q10 does, which the Z10 can't do, is typable actions, I'm calling it. I'm sure there's a better word for it. But what that means is that I can turn the phone on and I can just type the words tweet and then space and then start typing my actual tweet message. Whereas normally you'd have to go into Twitter, hit compose and start typing your status update or whatever it is. So you can just start typing tweet and go ahead and then hit post. Or you can start typing Facebook, type your status update, hit go ahead. SMS, space, Joe, space, hi, how are you going? Enter, and it sends it to that person. You almost don't have to go into apps a lot of the times because it's got these typable actions that are awesome. Type the word call, space, and then start typing the person's name. It shows up as a list, click on it, and you're calling them. That's really awesome, and it's something that will be unique to the Q10 because you can't just pop up the keyboard on the Z10. So these typable actions, as I'm calling it, are brilliant, and it's something which I really enjoy doing because I want to type a quick tweet. I don't want to have to really go into the app and do this and that. I just go, tweet, having a really good time at BlackBerry Live, post, done. It was all over. I really enjoyed that. Now, obviously, with BlackBerry 10, apps like Instagram, for example, still not there. Hopefully it comes soon. You can port them across. I've seen ports from Android onto here. It's still not perfect. But in saying that, some of the apps that are on here still aren't very good yet either. The Twitter app, for example, you can't actually access your direct messages through the Twitter app, which is kind of weird when you're talking about just Twitter. That was a bit annoying. Battery life. Battery life on this device is exceptional. Obviously you're powering a much smaller screen compared to the Z10, and it's just got so much power. One word of advice, if you do get one, you can get these little battery packs. It's actually got a replacement battery for the Q10 in here, but it's also got the capability of pulling the cable out and you can actually charge your Q10 from here, plug it in, and you get a full charge if you want to, or you can just swap the batteries. Awesome accessory to be carrying around. It's just a little battery charger from BlackBerry. It's brilliant. That's it, 139 grams. The Q10, I think, is the one that most BlackBerry enthusiasts will go for. I also think that it's for people who are huge texting, Twitters, emailers, Facebookers, that sort of stuff. If you love to just get messages out there, you reply to a lot of messages, this is the device for you. If you spend more time watching video, playing games and things like that, then the Z10 is probably more up your alley. If I was choosing between them right now, I'm going to go with the Q10 for the battery life and for getting things done quickly. That's one thing it does better than most phones, actually, even on the market. The ability to just type the word tweet, space, and then your message is brilliant. Yes, there's more to come. There will be more apps coming. Yes, I'm sad that there's no Instagram. That's a huge deterrent for me, but we're not far from it. That's the BlackBerry Q10. Hit me up in the comments with questions. I will answer them for you. I like it. I would like to know if you like it. Which one would you get, the Q10 or the Z10? I say Z, some say Z. That's it. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you next time. Bye.